Today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 mistakes you must avoid after you get funding. And this is so important because these mistakes can actually put you out of business. All right, my friends, so the 5 mistakes to avoid after you get funding. Sometimes you work so hard to get the funding, you get it, you're so excited, and then you make mistake number 1. And mistake number 1 is you actually spend all of your money right away, and you're so excited to grow your business, and then you realize that, oh, I spent it in all the wrong places. Now the money's gone. What do I do? This happens all the time. An example of this, when I started one of my first businesses, this is at age 25, this is back in 2005, dates me a little bit. It was a mortgage company, and we're gonna fill this office up. It was like a 2,500 square foot office. We were so excited. I had $40,000 in funding, and I spent it on furniture and advertising, all these different things right away, and then it was gone like 2 months later. I'm like, okay, I better start making some sales. I better start, how am I going to pay my personal bills? I didn't quite think all that through. And so I spent all that money, and then I had to really focus on generating a whole bunch of sales. If I was doing it over again, I would have invested maybe $10,000, $15,000 in just the bare bones to get the office up. Instead of worrying about getting 20 people in the office, start with 5 good ones and then grow and scale more gradually. That's a really important concept. So mistake number 1, please don't spend all your funding right away. Take time, make small investments. All right, mistake number 2, investing in non-measurable advertising opportunities. This is such a huge mistake. And the example I love to give is sometimes in our space, we'll get an event sponsorship and they're all excited. And so there was this opportunity to sponsor this event, and it was $6,500 sponsorship. So I invested that $6,500. My partner Ty went down to that event, and there was not really anybody there. Those that were there weren't really serious about their business. So not only did we waste $6,500, but we also wasted another $2,500 in travel costs. I mean, it's almost $10,000 just down the drain. And if I had taken that same $10,000 and actually invested it in something very concrete, like bringing in more referral partners on Facebook or YouTube, or even just hiring somebody to go out and find more strategic partners, even running a Facebook campaign, all of these things would have ended up being much more easy to track, because if I can spend $1, I can find out how much it costs to bring a lead in, how much does it cost to convert one of those. You can really get down to the data. And so whenever you just throw money out without really knowing what to expect, what's around the corner, that is very tough. And when it comes to advertising, if after you just barely get your funding, you want to start with small amounts and be able to scale it up, prove it, and you don't put a lot of money into it until you prove it, until you put $1 in and get $3 or $4 back. So don't make that mistake. Don't invest in non-measurable advertising activities, like things like a billboard, newspaper, those types of things. It's just very difficult to track those. I don't recommend that. Mistake number 3, you think like a consumer instead of a business owner. And the consumer is scared about every little dollar. And there's a pendulum, right? I'm a scared looking consumer, but I'm a business owner and I don't want to hire somebody. I'll just do all the work. Nope. Don't think like a consumer. Think like a business owner and an entrepreneur. You're not going to be able to DIY everything and create a profitable business. You have to invest in a team. You have to invest in technology. Oh, I'm a consumer. I don't want to invest in that technology that costs me a few $100s a month. I'm just going to do these things manually. No, think like a business owner. Your time is money. You have to be valuable based in terms of how you spend your time, and you want high leverage activities. And if you're doing manual stuff, that's the difference of thinking like a consumer versus thinking like an entrepreneur. You have to make investments. So it's this balancing act, right? It's not spending it all like an idiot, but it's also understanding you must make investments. And that gets us to mistake number 4, scared money don't make money. You have to make the investments into your business. You have to invest in advertising. You have to invest in that piece of equipment. You have to make the minimum investments to have a foundation to build and grow that business. And if you don't make those investments, it's going to be absolutely impossible for you to grow your business. And scared money doesn't make money. So it's this balancing act. It's not being reckless, but it's also understanding you have to make the investments. You can't be scared, and then you have to do everything you can to learn. And then this is really where it comes down to number 5. And this is probably the biggest mistake. There's just no doubt about it. And it's that you focus on everything in the business except what matters most at the beginning, which is sales. You're starting a new business, you're growing the business, you got some funding to get that business off the ground, and you're focused on, getting all these little things set up, and you're focused on, spending 2 months building out the website, and you're spending on 3 months working on your sales script, and you're spending 4 months to hire somebody. No, you need to generate sales. You need to figure out what do you need to do to have a presentable website, a sales script, a product or service that you've got a proof of concept with, and then how can we generate sales? It's all about getting the first $1 million in sales. That's where you prove your business. And from 2018 to 2019, when I left my previous funding company, started a new one, started Seven Figures Funding, I'd seen this before. I'm like, okay, it's time to focus on sales. That's all I did. People wanted me to spend 10 grand here for an automated podcast and all this other stuff that was not going to make me money right away. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to spend it right now on leads, to get leads in the door. I'm going to find out how much it costs. I'm going to close those. I'm going to bring in people who are commission only, and together we're going to build this business. And that's how we did $1 million our first year in business, because I focused on sales. And that's the biggest mistake that business owners make after they get funding. Again, the 5 mistakes: spending all your money right away. Don't do that. Investing in advertising that doesn't have ways to measure how effective it is. Thinking like a consumer instead of a business owner. Don't do that. Be an entrepreneur. Read the books. Start out with the 10X rule by Grant Cardone. It's a great starting point. Scared money don't make money. Don't let a year go by and you didn't even spend any of your funding dollars to build your business because you were too scared. And don't focus on all the stuff that doesn't matter, because at the beginning, one thing matters: sales. Come on back, share this with other entrepreneurs, and let's win in 2024.